Hello, welcome to Valerian Bay. I'm Suzanne and I'm so pleased that you're here today. So, have those rose-tinted glasses started slipping off the end of your nose? Are you finding that your partner is either drifting away or irritating you? And in some way or another, do you feel like the relationship is starting to die? Well, stay tuned today because I'm going to give you some hints and tips of how to resurrect your relationship. Please feel free to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you don't miss anything in the future. So the first tip, make sure that you are making some genuine time for each other. So quite often when we get caught up in the busyness of our lives with work, potentially children, seeing friends, seeing family, trying to keep the house nice, you know, all these different things, walking the dog, all these different things pile up like we're on a bit of a treadmill. Now, for you to have happy, genuine, loving emotions, that process in your brain is much slower. So for you to get into your feels, for you to be able to really get into your genuine feelings about in a loving way, you need to slow down. So set aside even an hour or even half an hour just to have some time where you can relax and you can actually be together. Better yet, if you can make it like a date night where you're doing something that you enjoy together, preferably some sort of activity. So going for a meal, bowling, the cinema, a picnic, whatever you really enjoy, just allow that so that you can have a shared experience and try to put that into place as regularly as you can, whether it's once a month, once a week, an hour a day. That would be nice at the end of the day if you can manage that. Do specifically put that time in religiously so you can start to rebuild your connection, because while you're both whizzing round, that connection is getting distorted and it can start to dissolve as our minds become so focused on other things. Recreating an emotional connection with another person is all about applying energy to each other, and that will be about thinking about the other person in a positive way, because they will feel it if you're thinking about them in a negative way all the time. So think about them in a positive way and do it in a practical sense as well, where you're either sending the odd text message or having a little phone call, or just making sure that you're consistently feeding in to the communication and the energetic interaction between the two of you in tiny ways, and it'll start to build up, and then you'll start to really know each other again. If you have got elements where you are angry, resentful, you know, there's been things that have happened in the past that have created an issue with your trust, most definitely talk to each other about that. If you can't talk to each other about that, deal with what's happened independently. So take responsibility for healing the hurt of what's happened within you, even if it wasn't your fault, if it was something that was done to you. Recognise the emotions that you're feeling and seek out help to help you clear that if you are willing to move on from it. If you aren't willing to move on from it, then you can have a look at that as well and try to understand why you're not willing to move on from it. If you're afraid of relinking the trust, that is a very key element, that if you can resolve the trust issue between both parties within the relationship, that you then have to draw a line under it and move forward. So don't carry around with you the elements that have happened in the past, or your relationship will never flourish again, because that will be like weighting it down. If you do want to work with me, just to put this in here to clear that, there's something I do called emotional freedom technique, which gets rid of anger, sadness, fear, hurt and guilt without you having to go into those emotions from now all the way back through your past, and that can release you and free you from those old issues. So the next one is, if they've asked you for space, give them space. And don't just give them space as an activity of, I'm trying the hardest to stay away from them. Give them energetic space as well. So focus on you. Stop focusing negatively or in a panic sense about what's going on with them. The more that you do that, the more space they will need. Bring your energy back in. Just intend to do that. Intend to go, I bring my energy back into me, and remember who you are. Think of everything you've been through in life and all that you are, and start to do something. Pick something to do that you enjoy to make the day about you. And shine, be yourself, be who you are without that panic. Just put that in a little box on the side for now. An imaginary box. Just pop all your worries about what's going on in your relationship in a little box. Put it on the side. If you have belief systems, pray that that gets resolved while you leave it there, and just pop it on the side and live. Give yourself a free day to stop worrying about it and choose to enjoy your day. That will repair your relationship so much, just by taking the focus off of it, because while you're focusing on it to such an extent, it's such a huge amount of pressure. There's so much pressure in that. So do allow space if people ask for space, so they can work through their own issues, and don't panic about the time. Just trust that everything will work out in your highest favour and their highest favour, for each party's best and highest good. If they want to talk to you about something, if they're upset about something that has happened in the past, genuinely listen to what they're saying, but objectively. If you're trying to tell someone what's happened, and how it's upset you, try not to blame. Explain how you feel rather than making it all their fault. Now, if you are in the process of listening to somebody who's upset about something, once they've told you, ask them if there's something similar that happened before this relationship, and they will probably tell you about another experience in their past that whatever you've done has triggered. So there's a saying called historical hysterical, which means if you feel something really strongly, usually it's not about what's going on now, it's because it's something that's happened in the past that's affected their security somehow. It might be from when they were a child, or it might just be it's affected their security and their trust in human beings somehow. Ask them if something has happened in the past, and then allow them to talk about it, and listen with an open heart and objectively, without going into victim mode. It's not about you. Just be there for them, love them, support them, and that will build trust so much for you to support them through that, and will highly likely heal a lot of what's going on now. So just be that supportive, listening person. If they get upset, let them get upset without judgment. Just recognise that it's bringing things up and it's processing. A lot of the times within relationships, things are triggered so that we can heal while we're within a relationship. We make the mistake of blaming the other party when they've triggered something in us, but usually it's relative to something that's happened in the past. So just observe, allow that process to happen, love each other, and just listen to each other until that's processed through, and that will bring you so much more closer. Even if you don't know what to say, you don't have to say anything. You can give them a hug, I often say to a lot of people, a hug goes such a long way, and sometimes that's all you need, just a hug, and so that the emotions can come out, and the hug releases the oxytocin in the in the system and starts to heal that issue. So just allow that to happen. Here's a big one which is similar to what I was referring to earlier. Get out of your head space and into your heart space. So how do we do that? So let's just talk about when we're super busy in life and we've got loads going on and we're on the conveyor belt of getting up, getting the dog walked, getting the kids to school, getting breakfast done, getting work done. You know, like, oh, work's busy, everything's demanding. Get home, got to make tea, got to walk the dog, got to, like, bath the kids. You know, there's so much stuff. And then, bedtime. And then you go to bed and then you start all over again. And it's just a race during that process. And then you might have other stuff chucked in there. Family members are ill, you want to see friends, you've got a hobby that you want to do. I don't know, you know, life can be so fast, and in that speed it forces us to be in our headspace, and as I said earlier, to feel genuine emotions and to get into that heart-centered feeling of love and compassion and kindness. Sometimes we need to slow down. So one reason when your first love quite often is so intense is because you haven't got all the responsibilities and all the speed of things going on. You have time to get into your feelings, to listen to music and think about them and appreciate them, and to revisit things that have made you happy with the interactions, and to allow that excitement to sparkle within you. We really don't get a lot of time to do that as adults. So just take a little bit of time as often as you can. If you can do it once a day for even a couple of minutes when you wake up in the morning, it will probably calm your whole day down and certainly centre you back into you. Just take some nice deep breaths and focus, imagine focusing your energy or your attention from your head into your heart space. So just focus your attention to this space here where your heart is. And as you do that, breathe in a feeling of love. And breathe out any worries and concerns like it's black smoke. And then breathe in a feeling of love again into your heart space. Breathe out any worries or concerns like it's black smoke. Breathe in, maybe like a light pink colour or just a white light even into your heart space. And then just breathe out any black smoke. And feel the love within you, feel the love for your family, your friends, for your colleagues as human beings. Just send that love out there and keep breathing that love, and feel that love for yourself and feel it for your partner. And with kindness and compassion, recognise that they're a human being doing the best that they can with what they've been given. And even if they're getting it wrong or they're doing things wrong, they are trying their best, and they are a human being, not a robot. They will make mistakes, and because that's all about life, that's about learning, and they will make mistakes with the relationship. But what matters is how you get through those mistakes, how you work together to resolve it. A perfect relationship isn't a relationship without bumps in the road. A perfect relationship is one where you recognise each other with compassion and you work through problems, and then you come back to love again. I'm going to leave that with you. I wish you a wonderful day and lots of love in your lives. Thank you for watching. If you want to work with me, just go on to www.valerianbay.co.uk, fill in the form on the Get in Touch page, and we can have a free chat about how I can support you. Take care. Goodbye.